My mom and sister hosted the kind of over-the-top children's party that could have been mistaken for a small-town fair. There were 103 names cited on the guest list. Cousins, classmates, half the PTA, even the neighbor's twins who once bit someone during tag. They had everything: bouncy castles, balloon arches, a cotton candy cart, and yes, pony rides. It looked like a kid's dream wrapped in rainbow confetti. Everyone was invited, everyone except one little girl. My daughter. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I didn't even call to ask why. Instead, I did something else. 3 weeks later, my sister was packing boxes, moving out of town, and I never even raised my voice. The irony? I hadn't realized we were excluded. Not for a second. Not while helping Lena swirl frosting on her lemon muffins that morning. Not while gently curling her hair as she hummed to herself, chattering about the games and prizes she was sure would be there. Not while she told me, again, how much she couldn't wait to see her cousins. Not when we pulled into the parking lot and saw a floating rainbow of balloons glinting in the sunlight, or when the bubble machine near the welcome sign started going haywire, sending soapy bubbles into the sky like a celebration gone slightly feral. I didn't suspect a thing. If anything, I felt a little guilty. Guilty for not helping this year, for not doing my usual save-the-event routine. Normally, I'd be there 3 hours early, yelling reminders about juice boxes, organizing the gift table, making sure no one forgot napkins. But this year, I'd stepped back. I told them I couldn't take charge. For once, I wanted to just attend. To show up as a mom, not a manager. We walked the gravel path I'd walked every year before. Lena's glitter sandals caught the sunlight. Her tutu a shade too small, the waistband digging in slightly, but she insisted on wearing it anyway. She held her tray of lemon muffins like it was treasure, her name written proudly on a paper tag, Lena's Lemon Stars. She believed that little label guaranteed her belonging. I had my purse in one hand, keys in the other, and that faint nervous buzz in my chest that always shows up at family events. The one that wonders, did I forget something? Did I park too far? Did they already cut the cake? Then I noticed something new. A check-in table. A teenager stood there, clipboard in hand, squinting against the sun like a bouncer outside an exclusive yacht party. Names? He asked flatly. I smiled, amused. Joelle and Lena. He flipped a few pages, frowned, then looked back up. You're not on the list. I laughed, light and polite. Oh, that's okay. I think they just missed us. We've always been here, every year. I lifted the tray. We brought muffins. He didn't smile. Sorry. I was told to only let in people on the list. My stomach dipped. You're serious? He nodded, uncomfortable but unmoved. Yeah, sorry. Before I could say more, I heard the crunch of footsteps on grass, the sound of authority in motion. I didn't have to look. I knew that walk. Those polished shoes, that rehearsed half-smile, the event t-shirt tucked in like a uniform. Brittany. My older sister. The golden one. She reached the table, gave the teenager a little approving pat on the shoulder, and then turned to me with that calm, managerial tone she always used when she was about to humiliate me in a civil way. Joelle, she said. Brittany. I nodded toward the muffins. We brought these. Her lips curved, not into a smile exactly. You weren't invited, I blinked. What? She didn't soften it. You weren't on the list. She said it like she was confirming a delivery address, not cutting out her own sister and niece. I waited for the laugh, the smirk, the kidding. Nothing came. I exhaled sharply. That must be a mistake. We're always invited. We're family. Her arms folded, expression steady. You said you weren't involved this year. Yes, I said I couldn't organize it, I replied, my voice still even. Not that we wouldn't come. She shrugged, that effortless, polished gesture that said everything and nothing at once. I figured you'd understand. My throat went dry. Understand what, exactly? That we've been erased. Lena tugged at my hand. Mom. I crouched down, my heart pounding so hard it felt audible. It's okay, baby. We're just figuring something out. Then, as if choreographed, our mother appeared behind Brittany. Sunglasses, pearls, an outfit that screamed casual elegance. The look she reserved for moments when she wanted to seem above conflict while fully participating in it. She didn't speak. Just stood there, expression neutral, like this was business as usual. "Joelle," Brittany said quietly, "please don't make a scene." I laughed, the kind of laugh that cracked on its way out. "A scene? I'm standing here with lemon muffins at a kid's party. That's your definition of a scene? You're raising your voice," she warned. "I'm not. People are looking. Let them," I thought. Let them see this. But then I felt it. The tremor of Lena's small hand in mine. Her glitter sandals shifted against the gravel. Her lower lip trembled, and then the moment that will live in my chest forever. Lena looked up at Brittany, eyes wide and pleading. "Can I go in, please?" "Ava said there's a rocket game." Brittany crouched down, hands on her knees, voice soft. "Not today, sweetheart. It's not your fault. It's your mom's." The world went silent. I froze, only for a second, then took the tray from Lena's hands before it fell. I turned, keeping my movements calm, deliberate. We walked back to the car, while the laughter and music behind us grew louder, like someone had turned up the volume to cover the cruelty. A bubble floated past and popped against my arm. Lena said nothing. Neither did I. "Halfway home," she whispered, voice small. "You ruined it." I didn't answer. Couldn't. My throat felt raw, my hands trembling against the steering wheel. The humiliation burned through me, but beneath it was something colder. The confusion, the betrayal, the not knowing why. When we got home, Lena disappeared into her room, shutting the door gently behind her. I sat at the kitchen table, still holding the tray. The crayon-written label, Lena's Lemon Stars, was smudged beyond recognition. I don't know how long I stayed like that, staring at the muffins until they blurred. Eventually, I picked up my phone, searching for distraction, maybe to text my husband, maybe to scroll mindlessly. That's when I noticed it. An old family group chat. One they'd forgotten to remove me from. At the top was a photo, grainy but clear enough, me at the gate. Lena beside me clutching the tray, Brittany standing in front, arms crossed, underneath, a comment from someone. I couldn't even tell who. I can't believe she had the audacity to show up. The air left my lungs. I still didn't know what crime I'd supposedly committed. Not yet. But I would find out. And when I did, I wouldn't scream or cry or beg. I would act, calmly, precisely, and they'd never see it coming. See, some people are bad with money. Some people can't resist gossip. Me? I can't say no. I've said yes through tears, through exhaustion, through resentment that could fill oceans. I've said sure when I wanted to scream, absolutely not. It's not even that they expect me to. It's that they know I will. My mother knows. My sisters know. Even Lena's started to catch on. Once, I actually practiced saying no in the mirror, rehearsed it like a foreign phrase I couldn't quite pronounce. Then I drove to my mom's house and somehow ended up organizing a 60-person brunch for my aunt's third wedding. I was 9 weeks pregnant. I should have been sleeping, eating crackers, resting. Instead, I was arranging centerpieces and negotiating seating charts while vomiting into a grocery bag behind the counter. My mom didn't even look up from her notes. "Joe, can you handle the place cards? Brittany's busy with the cafe, and Rachel doesn't do well with Excel. I'm the middle child." Brittany, the eldest, is polished and commanding, the kind of woman who speaks in bullet points and drinks $8 lattes with her logo on them. Her cafe isn't cozy. It's curated. Everything's beige, branded, and priced to remind you that you're not. Rachel, the youngest, is soft, the family's emotional pet. She panics when plans change, cries when they don't, and has spent her whole life waiting for someone to fix things. That someone has always been me. And then there's our mom. Pearls, perfection, and selective memory. She favors Brittany so blatantly it could be used in a psychology lecture. Rachel gets babied, Brittany gets celebrated. I get used. It's not resentment. It's just logistics. Growing up, I was the fixer. If Brittany forgot her science project, I stayed up with her. If Rachel lost her costume, I crafted a new one out of paper bags. If Mom needed help hosting, I was mashing potatoes before I hit puberty. They didn't say, Joe does more. They said, Joe knows how. And I believed that was love. Even after marriage, nothing changed. My husband's wonderful, but even he slips into that same rhythm, the one where I quietly hold everything together. Then Lena was born. My everything. I thought she'd change the equation, that motherhood would earn me tenderness. Instead, it just made me more useful. The reliable one, the mom who does it all. One day, while making pricing 3 lasagnas on Forcador 3 potlucks, I realized I was raising a daughter who saw me as a helper, not a human being. And it wasn't her fault. It was mine. The breaking point came earlier this year. Another family event. Another massive celebration. Balloons, catering, gift bags. I said yes before even checking my schedule. Brittany was too busy with the cafe. Rachel offered moral support. Mom said, Joelle always pulls it off. 3 weeks in, I was running down the stairs with a tray of menus when I slipped. I remember the sound. A crack, like a twig. I remember Brittany standing at the bottom. Frozen, watching, not moving. I broke my leg in 2 places. When I texted the family group chat from the ER, the replies came quickly. Will the venue still need the guest list? Do you want me to finalize the playlist? Are you sure it's broken? Not one. How are you? Not one. Do you need anything? Not even from Mom. That's when I started saying something new. Something foreign. I need to rest. I can't do that right now. It felt wrong. Almost dangerous, like speaking a forbidden language. But I did it anyway. And for the first time in my life, the silence that followed felt like power. By the time the annual Cousin Carnival rolled around, I was barely caught up at work. My leg was healing, but not fully. And my therapist said gently but firmly, you need to stop treating rest like a reward. It's not something you earn. So, I said no. For the first time, I told my family, I can't help with the carnival this year. I need to focus on recovery and work. I didn't even say I wasn't coming. I just said I couldn't run it. Brittany was livid. She didn't say it outright, but she made her feelings known through group messages dripping in passive aggression and snide comments about how some people can't be counted on anymore. Mom chimed in with things like, we all have to make sacrifices, and I just hope you're not making excuses. Meanwhile, Rachel stayed quiet, and Dad, I don't think he ever read the thread. And yet I still assumed we were invited because despite everything, I figured they were just mad. Petty, maybe passive-aggressive, but not cruel. I thought we'd show up. Lena in her glitter sandals, me with a plate of lemon muffins, and maybe I'd get some cold looks, but we'd still be there. I didn't realize that saying no just once would cost me everything, but I was about to find out. And after that, I'd do something none of them saw coming. I didn't sleep that night, not because I was angry, not even because Lena was still crying off and on in her room, asking questions I couldn't answer. It was because I didn't understand. And I've always been someone who could take a lot as long as I understood why. That night, all I could hear was my mom saying, you know why? And my sister blocking the doorway with a smile like she was doing me a favor. Except I didn't know why. Not really. So the next morning, I made coffee with shaking hands and opened the school directory. I typed in one name, Emily Carrington, one of the other moms. Her kids were at the party. She was nice. We'd exchanged cookies and emergency socks. I didn't overthink it. I just called. She picked up on the second ring. Joelle? Her voice already told me everything. You heard? Yes, A long pause. Then are you okay? No, I said. Emily, I need you to tell me what people are saying. Please, I'm not going to yell. I need to know. She hesitated, but not for long. Okay, she said. Oh, Brittany told everyone you're supposed to organize the party this year, that you confirmed everything. Months ago, venue, caterers, all of it. What? And then you just disappeared. She said you stopped answering texts, that you were overwhelmed and not doing well, that you pulled out last minute and didn't tell anyone. That's a lie, I said flat. I figured it might be, she said quickly. But that's what people were told, that you bailed the week before, that your leg wasn't really that bad anymore, and that you might have taken the money. I blinked hard. What money? She said she gave you the funds to cover the deposit, and that you never paid the venue. People were scrambling to fix it last minute. I couldn't even speak. I felt like I'd been slapped. Emily, it told them I couldn't organize it this year. I said it a month in advance. I have a doctor's note. I was barely off crutches. I believe you, she said. Honestly, the way Brittany told it, it always felt off. But she said it soakingly, like she was worried about you. Of course she did. Lie better. Smile bigger. I ended the call politely, said, "Thank you," hung up, then just sat there for a full minute, staring at my reflection in the microwave door. And then I called Brittany. She picked up immediately. "Hey, Joe." Her voice was syrupy, the same tone she used when she needed me to volunteer for something last minute. I didn't waste time. "You told people I was supposed to organize the party." A beat of silence. "Then what are you talking about?" "Emily told me. You said I bailed. That I took money? That I ghosted you?" Another pause. "Joe, people misunderstood. I never said you bailed." "Then what did you say?" "That you had a lot going on. That you weren't in a place to handle it." "I told you I couldn't do it." "I said it clearly a month in advance." "You've never said no before," she snapped, suddenly sharp. "You assumed I'd show up anyway," I said. "Well, yeah," she said like it was obvious. "I thought you were just stressed. You always pull through. I didn't think you were actually quitting." "I didn't quit," I said. "I set a boundary and you threw me under the bus." "That's not fair," she said. "I was under pressure. Everything was falling apart and you just walked away." "I had a broken leg, Brittany. You were walking just fine." I actually laughed. "You do realize physical therapy isn't magic, right? It doesn't mean I can run a 100% carnival. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings." "This isn't about feelings. You told people it stole money." "I never used that word," she snapped. "You implied it. You let them think it. And you made my daughter feel like trash in front of 100 people." She didn't say anything. "Did Mom know?" "She was trying to protect you." "No, she was protecting you like always." Another silence, and then she said it. "You're blowing this way out of proportion. You've always taken things so personally. I was publicly excluded from a family tradition you destroyed and you made me the scapegoat." She sighed. "Can we just move on?" I hung up. I sat on the couch for a long time after that. Not crying, not shaking, just still. Because I wasn't confused anymore. She hadn't panicked and said something dumb. She hadn't miscommunicated. She made a choice. When she couldn't pull off the party on her own, she took my name and set it on fire, and everyone watched it burn. All those years, I'd been the one running around behind the scenes, setting tables and fixing banners and smoothing every wrinkle. And the second I stopped, they turned on me. Not just Brittany, not just Mom, everyone. Because it was easier to believe the unreliable middle sister flaked than to accept that the golden child failed. That night, I pulled out an old accordion folder from the closet. Inside receipts, email threads, guest lists from previous years, texts where I coordinated vendors, budget spreadsheets in my name, the file from my doctor confirming my leg fracture, a screenshot of the message I sent the family group chatteling them I couldn't run this year's party. I hadn't kept these things out of spite. I kept them because I'm the kind of person who builds binders for birthday parties. And for once I was glad I did. I put everything in a new folder, created a backup on a flash drive, printed things out, stacked it all neatly. I didn't know what I was going to do yet, but I knew this. I was done being the default. I was done letting people rewrite the story, just because I wasn't loud enough to stop them. And I was about to do something they never saw coming. I didn't write anything emotional, no dramatic subject line, no long monologue about betrayal or forgiveness or how hurt I was. I just put the facts down in an email, short, cold, bullet point clear. The subject line was clarifying misunderstandings, Joel Simmons. I attached screenshots of the group chat where I said clearly that I couldn't organize the party this year. A PDF of the doctor's note about my fractured leg, the recovery timeline, and my physical therapy schedule. Receipts showing I had already transferred my financial contribution to Brittany a full 5 weeks in advance. Photos of past planning documents with my name as the only contact listed for every vendor year after year. A time-stamped screenshot of her message saying she'd get back to me with venue info, which she never did. I CC'd it to the extended family list, over 100 people, including several parents from Lena's school, a few teachers, and of course Brittany and my mother. Then he hit send. Then I shut my laptop. Then I waited. It took less than 15 minutes. The first response was from our cousin David. Jesus Christ. The second was a text. I had no idea. I'm so sorry, Joe, I believed her. I'm embarrassed. Then a parent from Lena's school messaged me. We'd love to have Lena over for a play date. My kids were really upset when they heard what happened. And then it just kept going. People had questions. People wanted to know how Brittany thought she'd get away with this. How long had she been doing this kind of thing? Was this just a one-time panic move? Or had she always been this calculating? A few even started talking about her on the town parent forum, not anonymously, by name. Joelle didn't deserve what happened at that party. Her daughter didn't deserve it either. I don't know how you come back from that, and that's when the cafe started emptying out. It didn't happen all at once. No boycott, no picketing, just silence. No foot traffic. No moms with strollers. No teacher book club meetups on Friday afternoons. No Instagram stories tagging their signature cinnamon sissons. And Brittany noticed fast. By week 2, she had taken down the no wiring sign. By week 3, she stopped posting to social media. By week 4, I heard from a neighbor that she was trying to sublease us the space. Mom didn't call until the end of week 5. I let it go to voicemail the first time. She left a message that started like she was checking in. Hi, honey, just wanted to see how you were doing. And ended with, it's really gone too far. You need to fix this before your sister loses everything. I didn't call back, so she showed up. It was a Thursday afternoon. I was folding laundry and listening to a podcast about salamanders, because that's what it takes to not think about your mother showing up on your doorstep uninvited. Lena was still at school. The knock came like it always did. 3 fast taps, then 1 long pause. I didn't need to look through the peephole. I knew. I opened the door and stepped outside, blocking the entryway. Mom looked tired, but not sorry. She's moving, she said without a hello. She's closing the cafe. She says she can't stay here anymore. I said nothing. She's your sister. Still nothing. She made a mistake, Joe. We all have. But what you did, you humiliated her. I raised an eyebrow. What I did was tell the truth. You could have done it privately. You could have defended me, but you didn't. She needed help. So did I. I had a broken leg and a kid crying in my car while you both told me to leave. Her face twitched just a little. Brittany's not perfect. She lied over and over, and you helped her do it. She looked away, then jaw clenched. For a second, I thought she might cry, but instead she pulled herself upright like she was Theone with the moral high ground. She's leaving town. Are you happy? Happy? No, not even close. But I wasn't sad either. What I felt was done, like something heavy had finally been cut loose. She looked at me again, a little sharper. You always had to make things difficult. I gave a dry smile. No, Mom. I always made things easier for you. You just didn't notice. She blinked. I stepped back just enough to make it clear the conversation was over. Tell Brittany I hope she finds peace somewhere, but I'm not fixing this. Then I closed the door, and this time it felt good. Later that week, my husband asked if I wanted to help organize the fall neighborhood potluck. He said it like it was a casual question, like I hadn't spent the last decade buried in sign-up sheets. And just one more thing. I didn't hesitate. I looked up from my coffee, smiled, and said no. Just like that. No explanation, no apology, no nervous laugh. I didn't flinch. I didn't try to soften it with maybe next time or I wish I could. Just no. And the world didn't end. The sky didn't fall. He blinked, nodded, and said, fair. I think that was the moment I realized I'm not scared of being the bad guy anymore. Not if the only alternative is being invisible. It's been a year. I don't talk to my parents much anymore. My dad checks in every now and then. My mom, not so much. They moved a few months back to be closer to Brittany and her kids. Make of that what you will. What surprised me was my younger sister, Rachel. She showed up one afternoon with coffee and said, I've been thinking. I followed their lead too much. I shouldn't have. That was it. No big speech, just honest. And we've been closer ever since. As for May, I still organize the occasional fundraiser or birthday picnic, but only when I want to. And now when I say no, people take it seriously. Turns out respecting yourself teaches other people how to treat you. Life's quieter now, better, but you tell me. Did I do the right thing or did I go too far? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.